The second law of leadership is law of influence. Law of influence. What is leadership? What the personality of a leader looks like? Oh my God, his personality too charming, charismatic, impressive personality. Wow, what a beautiful person. What are the parameters of a leadership? The greatest parameter of a leadership is influence. Nothing more, nothing less. Influence. Whether the person can influence people or not. Look at the example of Mahatma Gandhi. He was not a well-built person, he was a weak person. He was just wearing a dhoti. But he could influence millions of Indians. He could convince them that even if we do not take any weapon in our hand, with only two, that is Satya and Ahimsa, we can beat the Britishers. He convinced the Indians, lakhs of millions of Indians, and people followed him. They got convinced. This is leadership. If you can influence the people, you are a good leader. If you cannot convince the person, if you cannot influence them, you are not a good leader. Leadership is about influence. In this topic, we'll first see what leadership is not. What are the misconceptions about leadership? And in the second part, we'll see what leadership is. Leadership is often miscommunicated. People always feel that, oh, I have this title, oh, I have this position given by the company to me, means I am a leader. There are so many misconceptions about leadership. There are so many individual definitions about leadership that sometimes it's really required to explain what is leadership. But there are many misconceptions about leadership. The first misconception I would like to tell is leadership is management. Leadership is management. In the last few years, there are so many books written on management and leadership by many great managers that so much literature available. We tend to understand that leadership is equal to management. In last 2 decades, because the world was very stable because of globalization, there was no lot of dynamism, things were a little bit constant. So managers were required who used to keep the systems efficient as the leaders of the organization. But the last decade, because of dynamism has increased, competition has increased, companies require leaders which are adaptive in nature, which are more than managers, which can change themselves and the organizations very easily. And in last decade or in this century, leadership is about team management. It's about team leadership, how you lead your team of different kind of educational background, ethnic background, cultural background, and how you lead the team. So clearing the first misconception that leadership is management. Sometimes people, they become their CEOs, vice president, presidents of the organization, they get certain title. We join certain organization after your education is completed. That position is given to us, not necessarily that we become leader. Then how to differentiate between a leader and a manager? It's very simple. Manager can work on systems, processes which are pretty standard, which are predefined very well. Managers can work on the systems of the organization, processes of the organization. They can keep the things constant. They can maintain the direction of the organization. But leaders can give direction to the organization. They scan the environment and see that which is the right way to go. Not only they think, but they also influence the people that this is the right way right now and we have to go in this direction only. They can influence, and that's the topic name is leadership is influence. Nothing more, nothing less. The second misconception about leadership is knowledge. Leadership is knowledge. Yes, knowledge is power, and people having this power, that is knowledge, they are really appreciated in the society, but not necessarily they are leaders. Otherwise, if you go in best of the universities, great universities, you can meet the professors, you can meet the researchers, you can meet philosophers, knowledgeable people, but whether in all aspects they are leader, their IQ is very high. They can think logically. Their thinking process are very high if you grade them on a scale of 1 to 10. But whether they can influence the people, not always. So leadership is not knowledge. The third misconception is leadership is pioneer. That you go something, you do the things first time, you become a pioneer in that concept and you become a leader. Not necessarily that you are in front of the people, you are ahead of them, you are pioneer in certain field and that's why you are leader. Sir Edmund Hillary was the pioneer because he was the first person who climbed the Mount Everest, one of the greatest hill, one of the greatest achievement, and he was the first person to go there and hoisted a flag of the country. After him, there were many people who followed him, but he was the pioneer. He was the first person to go on Everest. But whether he was the leader? No, he was not also the in charge of that particular event. The event head was, or the particular campaign was undertaken under the leadership of John Hunt. So Hunt was the leader. Leader not necessarily he is always there in the front and influencing people. Leader can be sometimes remain in the background, but yes, he can influence the happenings on the floor. So one is misconception that leadership is about pioneer in something is not true. Some people also say that leadership is entrepreneurism. Leadership is entrepreneurism. That you are an entrepreneur, you have certain idea, you establish your business, you employ many people, and you are a leader. No, entrepreneurs are good in scanning the environment. They can find out where the good opportunities are, what are the needs of the people, what society needs, and they can come up with certain products, they can come up with certain services which can satisfy the needs of the people, the needs of the society. But it doesn't mean necessarily they are great entrepreneurs. As I said to you that there are many small scale companies in Pune and Mumbai which are run by really very intelligent people. They are engineers from best of the institutes. They are manufacturing, they are entrepreneurs. They have started their own business. But sometimes they also go to the but not all the entrepreneurs, they are great leaders. Sometimes they cannot lead the people. Sometimes they cannot influence the people. So leadership is not about entrepreneurship. Some people may also tend to say that leadership is position. As I said, this is the most common misconception about leadership, that leadership is about position. When the position is given to you, it is a particular designation given to you, that you have been a manager of this company or a particular department or a particular territory, and these are the 10 people whom you can lead. It's a position given to you. Not necessarily this designation will make you a leader. People will follow you, people will listen to you, but not because of your leadership ability. It is because you are a boss. You are having some authority either to influencing them by giving certain incentives or giving certain punishment to them. And because of this punishment and incentives, people may follow you, but it is not because of your leadership ability. Leadership is not definitely the position. One example I would like to quote here, which was just quoted by the author himself, which happened in one advertising agency, that is Saatchi and Saatchi. There was one very important stakeholder and he pressurized the board that CEO Mr. Morris should be removed from the post. And he was removed from the post, Mr. Morris. And what happened after removal of Mr. Morris? Immediately, the impact on share from share price of rupees $84 to it crumbled down to $5 per share. $84 per share to $5 per share. Many good employees, many influential employees immediately left the company when Morris left the company. Very important accounts. Many important accounts were lost because of his exit. So what I wanted to tell you that Mr. Morris, there was no more designation associated with him that he is a CEO, he is top management person from Sachi and Sachi. No, when he left, he influenced the way company was operating. Customers left the company. Top employees left the company. It is because of the leadership ability of Morris. It is not because of his designation. Even if you take the Indian case, when Veena Patil left Kesari Tours and she started her own venture, Veena Travels, Veena World, immediately all the top people from the company who said that we are ready to work with you, Veena madam. And on the second day, they were with Veena World. There was no infrastructure, there was no office, there was no furniture to sit, but still all the good people, they came to Veena World. This is about leadership. Leadership is not attached with certain position, certain designation. The true nature of leadership is influence. Nothing more, nothing less. If you can influence the people to follow you in a particular direction, you are a leader. If you cannot influence people to go in a particular direction to follow you, you are not a leader. Irrespective of what is your designation, what is your position in the organization. We see in the organizations that some people, they always lead, influence operational decision making as well as strategic decision making, and some people follow. And if you see carefully, position and designation is not really in charge of it. Then what are the factors which makes the leader? What are the things which make a person a leader so that he can influence others and other people follow and they cannot lead in spite of trying very hard? So what is leadership? Leadership first of all is about your character. Character is the most vital thing in leadership because people who are around you every day, they monitor you. And when you are telling them to do a certain thing in a particular way, they interrogate you that if you are not doing it, why you are telling us to do? So character of the person matters a lot. Values of the person, ethics of the person, whether the person is committed for something or not, whether he is disciplined or not, whether he has integrity for his job profile, for the organization, for the society or not. Character is the enduring thing which is ingrained in the person, which definitely cannot be taught very easily. After character, the next thing in the list is intuition. What they feel about you. Yes, if you are a manager, if you are a good manager, and if you are given with certain data, you can interpret the data very well. But leadership is more about scanning the data. It's more about identification and recognition of intangibles and using those intangibles for the changing the direction of the people. Intangible things may be the energy of the people, boosting the morale of the people, boosting the energy of the people in a particular direction, scanning the environment and understanding which are the nerves probably people are going through, which are the ideas of the people, scanning the environment and finding out opportunities and challenges that organization may face after some time. That is intuition. And yes, intuition is important character of a leader. Whether you can recognize the intangibles or not, whether you can manage the intangibles or not, is about leadership. Third factor in leadership is knowledge. The next important thing in leadership is relationship. How you react and interact with the people. You cannot be a leader without establishing relationships with the people. Having right kind of relationships with right kind of people is important trait of a leader. Now suppose you are a fresher and you join some organization. You should be able to find out that who are the right people in the organization. That background should be ready. And whether I can maintain right kind of relationship with them or not. You cannot be a leader, as I said, if you cannot maintain and build relationship with the people. What is the relationship? Relationship is staying together in harmony. What are your hobbies? What are your interest areas? What are the problems? what kind of lifestyle you are having, what kind of activities you do. Interaction on such kind of things, formally, informally, maintains relations, build relationships. Because if there are no relationship and there is over professionalism, अपने काम से काम, अपने काम से काम. Yes, you can be a good manager, but you cannot be a good leader. Now, one thing I would like to tell you about relationship, that if you work in certain organization and probably you find out a person that he is having a lot of influence, when the meetings are going on, always people look at him, people listen to him, people respect him. Yes, that person is definitely a leader. But if you build relationship with such kind of people and if you start to influence him, then yes, you are having equal traits of leadership. So building relationships, right relationships with right kind of people is an important trait of a good leader. Next important factor of leadership is experience. Experience means what? It does not assure you, it does not guarantee you the credibility that this is the best person. No, but it creates certain kind of expectations among the people. Yes, if this person is experienced, this person has worked on such kind of projects, diverse projects, different kind of backgrounds, you give them chance. You give them chance to believe that I have handled such kind of situations. I handled such kind of situation in my previous assignment. My experience is like that, and you can use this experience to influence them. So yes, experience is important parameter. Next important factor is past success. How much you are successful in your previous assignment. If you are a fresher, then there is no question, because there is no track record of your success. And whatever you will be doing in your first job, that will be your track record. But what happened if you shift to second job? What you will tell your followers? For that, success in your present assignment is important. So these past successes is important parameter for believing the followers that yes, previously you are a successful manager, previously you have done such kind of assignment, you are successful. So yes, let's believe in this person so that he can take us to the victory. So past success is important. So my suggestion to you is, whatever you are doing, do it with character, do it with your passion, aim success, because whatever you are doing today is going to be a track record of you for tomorrow, and which will help you in being a good leader. So your present day's achievements are more important for tomorrow's leadership ability, tomorrow's successful ability as a leader. And last important thing is for any leadership is ability. Why people will follow you? Why people will follow you? Unless they believe that you are capable to take them to the victory. If players in the team started to feel that this captain is no longer useful to us because he cannot take us to the victory, why the team members will follow that captain or that coach? They will not follow. If the sales people in a team start to feel that our sales manager is not capable and in this quarter or henceforth he is not capable to achieve the sales target, we may not get our incentives, they will not follow the instructions given by that sales manager. So ability is important parameter of any leader. If followers starts to feel that you are not capable, they will not follow you. And for building that ability, past record is important. Your character is important. Your intuition is important. Your knowledge is important. In this chapter, Maxwell quotes a sentence of Margaret Thatcher, in which he says that if being a leader is like being a lady. If you have to tell people around you that you are, then you are not. That's about the leadership. With this sentence, he also has quoted one story of Abraham Lincoln, ex-president of America. So that was war going on, and in those periods, There was a trend or there was a rule in US Army that if you get along with the people, some people join army or motivate people to join army, then you will be given some higher rank. And Abraham Lincoln was comparatively very young. He gathered few people, motivated them to join the army. He was made commander. Even though he was made commander, he was not exposed to army before that. He knew very few things about army, soldiering process, how to give commands, how to control the people, how to shout, which are the terminologies in the army. So even though he was made commander of an army, slowly, his influence as a commander started to reduce. People started not to follow him because he was not experienced, because he was not able, because he was not exposed to such kind of environment. So after a particular time, the person who was made commander, Mr. Abraham Lincoln, was made a soldier. Simple thing. If people don't follow you, then you are not a leader. And if you want to be a leader, you have to influence them. That's why the theme of this chapter is leadership is influence. Nothing more, nothing less. But after that, Abraham Lincoln left the army. After that, he worked a lot on his leadership skills, other knowledge with constitution and everything. But here was one of the finest president of America. This story tells you two things: that if you don't influence people, they will not follow you. And if you learn the leadership skill, you can be a successful leader of a country also. So leadership can be learned, and if you don't learn leadership, people will not follow you. As I told you, leadership can be learned. Then who is a good leader? It is not possible. In this book, there are 21 laws given, 21 irrefutable laws of leadership. But you cannot master all the laws. Nobody is perfect in this world, nor the author, nor the me, nor the people who are going through this video. It is very difficult to master all the 21 laws. But if you feel that you are very good in first 10 laws, then you recruit the people, then you recruit the managers who are good in other laws. So suppose my next manager is very good in a law, in a particular aspect of leadership where I am weak. Then I can take the help of his talent, his intelligence, his mastery over a particular aspect of leadership. Suppose there is a law of navigation and he is a better navigator than me. Then a big leader is not just a leader, he is also a good follower. So suppose for a particular project you feel that the manager, your colleague, is a better navigator than you, then you become a follower. Make him a leader for that particular amount of time. Make him a leader. That's the quality of good leader. That leader is not always a leader, he is also a follower. So recruit people around you who are good in those skills where you are weak, and that makes a complete team where everybody is strong in a particular aspect of leadership. As I said, it's not very easy to master all the 21 laws, but you create such kind of team that will make these things complete, all the 21 aspects complete. But you try to master as many laws as possible so that people will follow you.